No, I mean, we never won in Boston. No matter what team I was coaching, we couldn't go into that. That's a very difficult building to win games in. So, I mean, I dreaded every time we went there.
Yeah, that's a tough place to play. For me, it was it Brendan Byrne Arena, the Meadowlands, whatever
Oh, yeah.
called,
Devils.
where the Devils played, because
NFL Game Day kickoff coming up right after this. It's time for us, before we go, to pound the table for guys that we believe in our hearts are going to have fantasy domination this week. Adam Rank, please lead us off.
I am going to pound the table for Puka Nakua, that everybody is leaving him out of the situation. I don't know. Puka Nakua, everybody's like turning their back on him.
He was on my top 10 list. He was. All right, well, Sophia, you missed my really bad. I'm going to pound the table. Helmet fall up. Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry. I still believe in him. He also has the Giants this week. Pound the table for him. Ready? Can I pound my table? Yeah. You guys help me? I'm pounding the table for Devonta Smith going up against the Dolphins this week. Do not let production to fantasy wideouts. Devonta Smith, we love you. Pound that table, baby. We hope that you guys stay put right here. NFL Game Day kickoff coming up momentarily. For NFL Fantasy Live, Adam Rank, Cynthia Freeland, Kimmy Checks. We will see you guys tomorrow back here. I gotta wash my hands. My hand sandwiches.
Where's my sandwich? Where's the rest of my sandwich?
You ate it, dude. You smell.
Hello, Dave. It's AARP.
Are you joining AARP?
Actually, I just did.
Call or go to
Big day for the Oregon Ducks. There's a guy that this Utah team is missing. They're a tough one against Washington on the road. And all of a sudden, really strong Arizona.
That's going to be the first of a lot of goals. Something you never forget.
A great young man off to a great start. Tracy Myers from NHL.com. You've done such good work tracing his early steps as an NHLer. You've been covering him exclusively since the start of training camp. What has he shown you in his first 2 NHL games?
Well, I think the thing about Bedard is obviously there was so much talk coming in with him, and he's handled it all so beautifully. I can't imagine being an 18-year-old and having to deal with all this. I don't know if I would deal with it well now at 50, but you know, he's handled all this so well, and he's the one thing he has said from the start is, I have confidence in myself. I have confidence in myself, and you see that. You see that when he's talking to us. You see that obviously on the ice where he's most comfortable. You know, it's just been very impressive to watch his game, and there's no fear. You know, and I realize he's been grooming, getting ready for this for years and everything, but you see him on the ice and he just goes after everything with such a zeal and, you know, goes to the net without any fear. Just a tremendous player, and yeah, very impressive so far, for sure.
His game at Montreal tomorrow night right here on NHL Network, 7 Eastern. Can't wait. He got his first goal under his belt quickly. How significant was that?
Very, yeah, and it was funny. I was asking him about after his debut in Pittsburgh. I said, "What did you like?" And he said he was very happy with all parts of his game coming out of Pittsburgh, except the fact that he just couldn't find the back of the net in the past 4 or 5 games. And that's so Bedard. It's not just about that one game. It's not about just regular season. He was struggling in the preseason too, and that bothered him. So, no, you absolutely saw the elation, obviously, when he scored that wraparound. And he mentioned it afterward in the Bruins visiting locker room, that it was just so nice to kind of have that weight off his shoulders. He knew it was going to come at some point, but yes, to have it in game 2, obviously with his family there, was even better. So, yeah, you could tell he was a happy man.
Now, you're up close to this story. What has been the early impact on the room from Bedard?
I think, you know, with him, obviously, there's hope. This is something that the Blackhawks, you know, there's been a couple of tough seasons the last couple of years here. And I actually asked Seth Jones that going into the player media tour. I said, you're coming into this season and this is an upswing. You guys are building in the right direction. So first of all, he brings hope. They're starting, or this is, sorry, I'm not coming up with the right word. This helps to rebuild a little quicker now. So there's that. And there's also that youthful energy. This is an 18-year-old guy who loves being on the ice, who loves everything about hockey. And that exuberance is rubbing off on everybody.
Exuberance is a great word. Now,
Thank you. I'm glad I got it out. Yeah.
You're awesome. On this show, you're writing all of it. Taylor Hall, the injury, week to week. This is a guy who understands what it is to carry the burden of being the #1 overall pick. What's the impact of that injury on these Hawks?
Well, the good news is, and I just saw this out of Montreal myself, it looks like Taylor Hall did skate today. He is now day-to-day. So first of all, that's a big plus, because Taylor Hall has been huge in that room. He's been huge for Connor Bedard. Bedard talked to me about that heading into the season as far as, listen, this guy's been fantastic to me. I've asked him so many questions because obviously Taylor Hall was Connor Bedard going into the 2010 season. So as of right now, yes, Taylor Radish is going to play there tomorrow night against Montreal. Taylor Hall will not be in that game tomorrow, but Luke Richardson did tell the media earlier today that the first prognosis did not look so good. Now it is day-to-day. So we'll see how he tracks over the next couple of days, but absolutely excellent news coming off that first report.
Keep up the excellent coverage. Tracy Myers, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you all. I'll work on my diction.
No, you just keep doing you. I turn to you, Bruce.
Guys.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us on a busy Thursday. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. We're, of course, going to begin with that breaking news. At least 15 people are dead, 50 others hurt after a mass shooting in Lewiston, Maine. And right now, the shooter is still on the run.
Officers named this man, 40-year-old Robert Card, as in with NBC News Justice and Intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian, who's been tracking all the overnight developments. So, Ken, the shooting took place at 2 different scenes. Take us through last night, and do we know any more about how all this started?
Ken, hundreds of law enforcement officers are now searching, of course, for this person of interest in this case. His name's Robert Card. What more do we know about him and his background?
Yeah, Savannah, and mental health issues, who with access to an assault weapon, and horrible things ensued.
Yeah, Ken, the president, of course, was briefed on the attack. The FBI says it's assisting with the investigation. What exactly are we hearing on the federal level from the White House, from federal law enforcement?
She's packing up snacks and supplies before leaving the office. Allison Walensky is a mental health specialist who's part of Long Beach's Community Crisis Response Team. They handle certain non-violent 911.
I would say public intoxication welfare check are most common at the moment.
Before the pilot program began this summer, Allison was working in Long Beach as a mental health provider. After the murder of George Floyd in 2020, the city asked people what they wanted in terms of non-law enforcement response to mental health crises. Allison was one of those voices that chimed in.
I've always wanted to work at the intersection of public health and social work, mental health. This is, honestly, I couldn't have told you before I saw this job posting, but this is exactly what I want to do.
When dispatch doesn't have someplace to send them, the team goes out anyway, and today they're linking up with a nonprofit working within homeless encampments.
Yeah, it's going to be hot today, so make sure you keep a lot of water, okay? Okay.
After just a few months on the job, a lot of the work is letting people know they exist.
Yeah, so if someone was experiencing a mental health crisis and you say you needed someone to come out, now, we could do that.
Director of Health and Human Services for the City of Long Beach, Kelly Colopy, was there to announce the program's start, hoping the news would be comforting for some.
There's some fear of the police and in some communities within our city. And what we want to make sure is that when people go in, they're seeing somebody who is unarmed, they're seeing someone who sort of looks like them.
The team will be monitored to see how effective the pilot is at freeing up police and decreasing the arrest of people experiencing mental health illness. Analyzing the data is something for program manager Anthony Montalvo.
It's really about making sure that we are consistently giving support to folks who are looking for support.
Regardless of numbers, Allison believes in her work.
I think in the moment we've been effective at what we do. When we get called out, we're able to either de-escalate or resolve or refer.
More help for mental health.